Hey guys, what's going on? Matt here, and welcome back to another Black Ops 3 mod tools tutorial video. So then, in this video, we're going to be pretty much putting in a buyable door into the map, okay? So in the last video, we put in this next zone, and now of course we need to, an actual buyable door, so the player can buy it, activate the zone, and then, walk around in the next area. So, really quickly, just to sort of free up our space a little bit, I'm going to go up to filter window and just uncheck volumes. It's still there, but let's just hide the zone, okay, just so we can see things a bit easier. So, first things first is we're going to just delete this clip. Of course, if you don't have this, that's perfectly fine, you don't need to do anything. I'm just going to delete this clip off the door, just because that is now no longer needed. We're going to be replacing that with something else shortly. Because all that clip was doing was preventing the player from walking through this door, because these models, the player can walk through them, okay? So, first of all, what we're going to do is make these doors into, well, first of all, of course, put the actual doors themselves into your map. Whether you want to use one door or two, completely up to you. Just put them into the map first of all. Now we need to select them both. Go to Entity Info. Go to Remap Class. And just type in Script. Like so. You go down to Script Model. And click Remap. That's how I'm going to make this into a script model each. And this means that we can basically move them around. We can do things with them. Okay. So, next let's give these a name. So I'm going to click them both again. I'm going to go to the target name and give this a name. Let's call them exterior door, because we're going outside. So exterior underscore door. That's what I'm going to name both these doors. Of course, give them both the same name because it is technically the same door, just in two parts. Okay. So next we're going to give it some movement. Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky. Okay, this is probably going to actually be the longest part of the video, just explaining how movement works. Okay, I'll try and do it as simple as possible. Just try and follow along, okay, and hopefully I make a bit of sense. So there's two ways of a door being moved. You have a script angles and a script vector. Script angles is if you want to rotate your door, okay, so maybe it's on a hinge, you want to rotate it around the wall. Okay, a script vector is if you literally want it to just slide, so for example, sliding into the wall, like so. Okay, now for this video I'm going to be using a script vector just because I want them to go into the wall and basically be out of sight. I am going to really quickly, well not really quickly, I'm going to put a bit of detail into it actually, but I'm going to just quickly show you guys how to use script angles instead, okay, and how to set that up. So first things first, I need to give you guys a bit of an overview on the way things are rotated. So as I said, script angles means the actual model will be rotated. Now if we go into our 2D view, you'll notice, just move this out so we can see it a bit easier. You'll notice I've got an origin, okay, over here. This is the blue square, and in the middle of here, this is where it will rotate. So if we give this a script angles option, which I will get into this in a second here, it's going to rotate this door about this point, okay. So some models do come where the pivot point is maybe in the middle, okay. So that means that your door will literally rotate like that, okay, which doesn't particularly look very good. So be sure to choose a model which actually rotates around the correct sort of point. Okay, now we can actually rotate this in a few different ways. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put this into the map as we would do, and I'm going to just reposition it slightly just so it's actually it looks like it's going to rotate around the wall. Now if I click R to rotate, you notice the pivot point is directly in the middle. So first of all, we actually need to change the default pivot point. This is only the pivot point for Radiant, by the way. When it comes to actually moving the model, it will use this point here. Just for when we're in the level editor, sorry, it goes straight towards the center. That's just a difference, okay? So what we're going to do is we need to change it to be the same which the game will use, okay? So we're going to do Shift and middle mouse wheel, and that's going to select it over here. You can literally do whatever you want. I'm going to choose the same point. Next we're actually going to rotate it. So I'm going to drag and rotate it, like so. Then I'm going to click R to stop rotation, okay? So what we've done there is we've rotated this door into the position we want it to be in once we've now opened it, okay? That's exactly what that's doing. Once we open the door, this is where we want the door to be. Just 1 second. Start my scene switch again. It keeps turning itself off for some weird reason. There we go. So this is the position we want the door to be in once we've opened it, okay? Now, once you've done that, of course do it to both doors, do it to both sides, but because we are actually using a scripted vector for this video, this is only a quick demonstration in case you want to use this method. I'm not going to be doing both doors. So, we come to here, you notice we've got an angles bit up here, okay? So, what we're going to do is we're going to give it some values. Now, we're going to add KVP, it's going to be script underscore angles, like so. So now the next one is based on these values up here. So, what this is saying is, once we bought the door, we want it to be at these angles here, okay? That's all it is. So, I'm going to say to it, right, I want the door to move nothing in the x-axis. I want it to move something, in this case it's 359.998. Okay, I want it to move to this position in the y-axis, aka the middle value. We'll do another space and say I want it to move nothing in the final axis, okay, and quickly add that. So all you're doing is pretty much seeing what it is up here, okay? You're putting these values in down here with a space separating each one. Easy as that, okay? And then you can leave that and of course move this back to where you want it originally, okay? Which I think, so consider it's 360, it'd be about 180 roughly. Yeah, there we go. So I'm just going to center that and put it back to how we had it. Okay, so you can see it starts off at 180, and then once we buy it, the script angles is going to take over and it's going to move it to this position, okay? That's the way that works. And the reason, let's just go back to, scene switch has stopped again. Start. There you go, apologies about that. So, yeah, so you can see it's going to start at 180, and then it's going to move to this position down here, okay? Hopefully not too difficult there. I'm just showing you guys the rotation thing there just so you can actually get, accurate values, that's all. So I'm going to delete this because we are not doing a rotation for this one. We're actually doing a scripted vector instead. So that means we want these doors to move into the wall. Of course, in opposite directions. Okay, let's go move that way, let's go move that way, yeah? So for this, what we're going to do is we're going to notice down here, we've got the origin. Now, as we move it, you'll notice the first value changes. It actually increases that first value, okay? And over here, the value changes as well. But this time it decreases. I realize the number itself increases, but if you look, it's a minus. It's actually decreasing, okay? It's going more negative. Okay, so what we're going to do is, this is the first value. That's all that changes. So I'm going to give it a KVP. Well, bear in mind you have to be separate now because they're moving in opposite directions. We'll do the two separately. We do script vector. I'm going to leave this blank for a moment because I need to get the value first. Now, it starts off as 55.75, and if we move it to its final position, you'll notice it moved by 56. Yes, 56. So it's going to increase by 56 units, okay? So this object, this door, is going to increase on the x-axis, x here, first value, by 56 units positively, okay? It's going to increase. So I'm going to give it a value as 56, 0, 0. So just like we did do earlier with script angles, it's going to be 56, space, second value, space, the third value, okay? Of course, we're only moving on one axis, so there's only need to do one value there. So we move over to the other door. It's the same, it's the same door, so it's going to move in 56 units again, but this time in the opposite direction, so in a negative direction. So I'm going to do again, add value, so add KVP, with script vector minus 56 space 0 space 0, so minus 56 this time. So you see, you got positive and negative, and both are script vectors, okay? Easy as that. That is now the actual movement side of it. Script vector is a lot easier than a script angles, just because I don't know, I just find it a lot easier to explain. But hopefully that all made sense. If you do need any, if you do have any questions, please do leave a comment on that, and I'll try my best to help you guys there. But as I said, I will be leaving all these KVPs in the description, so you guys can reference that if needed. Especially, I don't think I've spelled anything wrong, but just in case I have, the correct version will be in the description. So next we now need to put the actual clip on the door. So as I said earlier, we did have a clip, the invisible barrier, but we deleted it. That's because we need a script brush model. That was just a brush, okay? Now we need it to be a script version of that, so we can, you know, actually delete it in the end. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up to Entity Browser. We're going to go down to, let's just try script. Yeah, there we go. So under script, you see you've got brush model. So I'm going to drag that into the map and just reposition that as we did with our original clip, like so. Make it meet all the corners. Lovely. And the scene switcher stopped again. What is it with the scene switcher? Usually I don't have a problem with that. There we go. So back into this view. We'll give it a quick texture of clip. And now we have a script brush model, as you can see here, which is the exact same as our clip in terms of size. So what we're going to do is we'll give this a target name of the same door name that we gave it, which was exterior door. Okay, so the doors themselves and the clip are now all named exterior underscore door. We need to do one more KVP, which is script noteworthy. I've spelled that really badly. Script noteworthy. That's going to just be clip. Simple as that. Okay, so target name, same name as the doors, and script noteworthy clip. Okay. Now onto the trigger use. So the actual thing we can actually use now to trigger all this, you know, actually make it work. Okay, so what we're doing is we're going to go back up to Entity Browser, and we're going to go to Trigger, and I'll go down to Trigger down here, and we use a trigger use. So here, okay, the use one. Drag that into the map. Just reposition it like so into the center of the door, and we'll make it a bit thinner like so. There we go. So that now covers both sides of the door. You can activate it from both. I know we can only buy this from one side, you know, we don't have any access to this side, but just in case in the future, well, not just in case, we will be doing, we want to open up this door, you can open up the door now from either way, okay, by doing this, by just making the thing in the center cover both directions, okay. So we can basically buy this door now, you know, no matter which side we're on of it, okay. So now we've got the actual trigger itself into the map. Now we need to give it some values. So target name is going to be zombie door, like so. And we're now going to give it a script flag. So now this is the actual, actually no, let's do script flag last, because I need to explain that a bit more. So I'm going to do target, which of course is the actual door name, which was exterior door, like so. So it's now going to say, right, everything called exterior door, you know, treat it as a zombie door now, okay, as we got up here. Next we'll be giving it a cost, so this is how much it costs in points. I'm just going to give it 1,000 points, okay. I'm not too sure exactly what values you can use for this, to be completely honest. Just try and stick with the ones that are typically in maps. So you know, you got your 750, I think 500's fine. You got your 1,000, 1,250, 1,500, and your 2,000 ones. I think 5,000 works as well, and 2,500. Just give it a bit of a test, see what works, and of course, you know, just put in what works for you. Of course, all the normal ones, you know, that maps typically use, of course, you can choose any of them. You might also be able to put any value in. I just remember back in Wood at War, you had to have, you know, certain values. I've just not tested with loads of different ones, that's all. So, got cost and target. Now we need to do script flag, so we'll come back, you know, so we'll go back now to what we're doing now. So script flag. Now the way zones work, as I said in previous videos, when you go from zone A to zone B, you know, so from one zone to the other, they get activated, right? Now the way they're activated is but via the script flag, okay? So this script flag says, you know, it goes to a script, which we will add in a second. Literally, as soon as we've done this step, we go over to the scripts and we'll put the script in for this. So it's going to say, right, for this script flag, it relates to two zones. So it's basically, it links two zones almost, okay? And that's what you'll be using. So in this video, we're going to be saying, you've got add KVP under scripts flag. And I'm going to give it the name start zone underscore exterior zone, like so, okay? So it's the start zone, which is the first zone, so the zone we're coming from, and exterior zone, which is the name we're going to. Just separating them both by another underscore, okay? That's the naming convention that I tend to use. As far as I'm aware, you can put whatever you want in here. I just tend to put, so the first zone name and the second zone name separated by an underscore in script flag. That's just the way I do it. Okay, so I'm going to add that. Keep a note of this because we'll be using this in the script later on, along with the zone names. Okay, so that's that. Now what we can do is we can now press escape and we can now save this. That's now done. Now we're now going to open up our script and do the final step now of making this door working. So we're going to open up this one. Yeah, that's correct. And we're going to go all the way down. So all you need to do is, I should show you guys where this actually is first. We'll go to your Black Ops 3 root directory. This is where your game's installed. You'll go to user maps, your map name, in this case it's ZM underscore ritual. You'll go over to scripts and ZM, and you'll find ZM your map name.gsc, okay, the GSC file. Okay, so in the script, you're going to go scroll down. Well, not really scroll down, it's practically at the bottom anyway. And you'll find this here, user map test zone init. Okay, so down here, all you're doing is, let me think, is it, yes, it's just here, it's above these. I've not done this in a bit of time. So just here, so above all this, you're going to put this. I'm going to leave this line of code in the description for you guys. So just go to the description of this video and copy this out of there. That's all it is. What I'll leave in the description for you guys is this part here, okay? This one line. This is just a comment, just so I know exactly what things are doing, okay? It's more just so it's easier for you guys to see. That's all this is. Just do this. There we go. This is literally just so I've got a bit almost like a, so I can explain it a bit better. What you actually need to do is only add this one line in, okay? This line will be completely ignored by the actual game. This is a comment, okay? It's literally just a little comment just so you can read it. So what you're going to do is, you see you got three values here, okay? You've got start zone, you've got zone 2, and start zone, zone 2. So start zone, zone 1 is of course the zone we are coming from. So of course on the door we have two zones which it's in between. This is one of the zones, and the zone 2 is the zone we are going into. So in this case it's exterior zone. Okay, just move this up a little bit. See, I'm using them as headings, that's all. You won't actually have this yourself though. You'll only have this one line. Now we've got to use the script flag. So if you notice over in Radiant, we gave this a script flag. It's this script flag now that we're going to be using. So I'm going to copy that. Go back over to our script. I'm going to paste that in there. There you go. So what it's saying is when we're buying the door, it's going to listen out for this basically. As soon as this is done, it's going to register both these zones and say, right, activate this one. The player is now allowed to go into this zone and, you know, not be killed. That is basically the way that works. So as I said, copy this one line of code from the description and paste it in here. I'm just going to take this out now because it's not needed. It was just to explain that with, that's all. Okay, so you're going to add this line in, and that now makes both of your zones basically working together almost, you know, depending on your buyable door. Of course, if you want to add another zone, just copy and paste that and add it to another line below and change your values accordingly. So, you know, you might have exterior zone here now, and then, I don't know, we'll call it zone 2. I can't think of a zone name in here, and then you'll have, you know, your modified script flag depending on what you've called your door. Hopefully that was straightforward enough, and that is literally all you need to do. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to save this file and save, and now we're going to go over to the launcher and I'm going to go and compile my map, and I'll meet you guys over at Black Ops 3 where I'll be showing you guys that you can now buy the door and, you know, actually go into the other zone without being killed and zombies will spawn. So I'll go and show you guys over at Black Ops 3 now. what we've just done. Okay, so we're at Black Ops 3 now. One quick note, I will actually add a note over the video itself on that section. When I was doing the KVP on the door here for the zombie cost, I believe I put cost in the box, not a zombie cost. The correct KVPs are in the description, okay? So just make sure you alter that KVP. I didn't really want to remake the entire video just because I forgot to put the word zombie in instead. So yeah, so I'm going to activate that. You can see now the door's open for 1,000 points. It's taking 1,000 off me. I can now walk outside and, well, I'm not dying. Go kill that zombie, and now I should have a zombie spawn in the ground somewhere. In a moment. I should hope it's this round at least. Yep, there we go. I was really hoping that would happen then. So I don't want another mess up. Lovely. So you got zombies now spawning in the map, and things are working nicely. And you can see these zombies are also coming from this room because these are now adjacent zones, and the game recognises them as, you know, together. That's all down to these scripts that we did earlier. So yeah, make sure you guys, if your door's not working, make sure you go back and change yours. I think it was cost I put to zombie_cost. Or whatever's in the description. I'll put all the correct ones in the description to make sure there's no typos or anything, okay? I'll double check them as well. So make sure you put those correct KVPs in, guys, and that should be perfectly fine. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I'll do my very best to have you guys there. But other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video where we'll progress this map a bit further and see where we can get with the next video, yeah. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.